Welcome to the next video in our series on fleetform.net configuration. Today we're going to be working on an OSPF config. As you can see, the network is similar to the build that we did for EIGRP, but we're going to turn it into an OSPF as an example of how we want to configure things. So without further delay, let's log in and get started. All right, here we go. Put in my super secret password. Log in. And in other videos, we've seen plenty of examples of configuring DNS and other basic configuration fields and how that works. So today I'm just going to fill out the hostname portion from this guy, which is router 1. So let's go ahead, get that done. Get a local account made. Go ahead and update the config there. Now, one thing that I forgot, as I can tell, is I forgot to go ahead and change this to a Cisco router. So let's do that real quick. Okay, great. So now that we have the right type of device that we're going to configure, let's work on our physical interface section. So as we can see from our diagram, we're going to configure gig 00 and gig 01. I'm going to say that gig 00 is our connection to router 2 with an IP address of 10.0.4 0.4.1 / 30 mask. Okay. And then gig 01 is going to be going to our layer 3 switch. And this router has an IP of 10.04.5, once again with a /30. We'll also take note, I've got a loopback 0 of 192.168.0.1, so that would be in this section. That pretty much completes this section, which frees us up to do our OSPF routing configuration. This is an arbitrary number. I'm going to go ahead and pick 10. For my router ID, I'm going to go ahead and configure one for today. And, it's best practice to pick a loopback, but as long as it's a valid IP. It's also recommended that the IP address be in the routing from a subnet that's in the area. So as you'll see, we'll put this loopback in area 0 because we want that to be advertised. So we got 192.168.0.1, and with a /32 address, that's going to be all zeros. Like I said, we'll go with area 0. Keep this a simple one, but this does support multiple areas if that's what you need for your configs. So we'll put in our subnets. So /30 is going to be 0.0.0.3. We'll just once again put everything in area 0. And we've got 10.0.4.4. Once again, /3. We'll put that in area 0. And just like that, we've got router 1 configured. So let's go ahead. As usual, I have my console sessions open, so we can copy and paste this right into the router. Router 1 here. As you can see, this is a fresh configuration. Let's go ahead and do the same for router 2. Say we do not want to see the initial configuration dialog. Wait for our interfaces to come up. And there we go. Okay, so we can do enable, config T. paste our config in. All right, so that's looking good for router 1. Let's go to work on router number 2. Now, our host name is going to change to router 2, right? Local auth is still good. Our physical interfaces are going to change a bit. We've got gig 0 now going to router 1 with an IP address of 4.2. And for gig 1, we're still going to switch 1, but our IP address is 4.9. And finally, our loopback is 192.168.0.2. So we'll update that. This is where reusing some fields allows us some speed in configuring these devices. So I'm going to stick with, for our router ID, the loopback. Advertise that loopback. We're still advertising 10.0.40, and we're still and we just have to add 10.0.4.8 network. And just like that, we've got our second router configured. We are off to the races today. So let's copy and paste that guy. Go to our router 2, and once this is done, we should see some OSPF neighbors come up. Our loop backs up, our gig interfaces are up. And look, we've already got OSPF routes. So look at that. There you go. We've already got really the two routes from this perspective is the 10.0.4 network learned by OSPF and the loopback of router 1 learned by OSPF. So making good progress. Let's move on to our layer 3 switch. So for our layer 3 switch, we're going to call this, it's called switch 1. Update that. Now here we're going to have some VLANs because, as usual, we're going to have some workstations and some simulated workstations and some simulated servers. But we can see from our map we need VLAN 20 and we need VLAN 30. VLAN 1 is for servers, as usual. Its IP address 10.0.2.1/24 mask. And we need VLAN 30, which is workstations. 10.0.3.1/24. Update that. Now we've got, let's go ahead and configure our physical interfaces. So we'll say to router 1 is E00. IP address is 10.0.4.6. And then E01 is going to be to router 2. With an IP address of 10.0.4.10. We also have a loopback of 192.168.0.3. So let's update that. That takes care of our interfaces. Let's set up routing, OSPF. Once again, we're going to pick our loopback. We want to advertise that loopback, so we'll change that to .3. We're going to advertise 10. We want to participate in advertising 10.0.4.0, 10.0.4.8, right? oh, sorry, 10.04, let's go with 10.044 first, 10.048 second. Then we want to advertise our two VLANs, so that would be 10.020. So /24 would be 000.255. Put everything in area 0 today. And we want to advertise 3.0, 255, and put him in area 0. So we're getting there. The last thing that we need to do is set up DHCP once again for our workstations. If you've watched the other videos, you know I like to skip, have the first IP start at 10 or 10.03, mask, gateway 10.031. I think that should do it. Let's generate that config. Copy him. Bring him over to our layer 3 switch and do some testing. Should be in business. See, our interfaces are up. So we have no running config, it's just default. Do config T. Let's paste it in, see what happens. Get our physical interfaces up. Wait a few seconds for the VLANs to come up. We see our OSPF adjacencies are up and good. We're still waiting for our VLANs. And then we should be able to go to router 1 and router 2 and see those VLANs and do some testing. Oh, but you know what? We're not going to see that because I forgot to do the physical interfaces for the switch. So it's easy enough to go back and change. Let's add some interfaces. Go back to our map. As you can see, for servers, we're going to be in VLAN 20 for E02 to 3. And we're going to be in VLAN 30 for E10 to 1. Sounds like the range command. Range E02 to 3. We'll say to servers. Access port in VLAN 20. Let's do our workstations. E10 to 1. As you see also, this is why it really pays off on creating a complete map before you build this. Let's update that config, and we'll go grab those pieces of the config and paste them in. Nothing says all of these device configs have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can do specific sections. You don't have to do the entire config all at once. So I just need to grab these range commands, we'll paste them back in the switch, and then we should be in business. Now we should get our VLANs to come up in a second. And then we should see them advertised in OSPF on router 1 and router 2. We'll give that just a second to come up. We got VLAN 20 up, and VLAN 30 shouldn't be too far behind. Take its sweet time. While that comes up, we should be able to go over to router 1, do a show IP route. And there's our 10.02 learned via OSPF. What do we got going on here? Why isn't VLAN 30 coming up? Let's do a little troubleshooting. We've got it there. We've got it. It's active. It says that there's no ports in that, right? You see that this is blank? So I missed something with my config. And I'm sure anybody who's been paying attention already can see the fact I put the ports in the wrong VLAN. So I could either manually change or go back up to my interfaces and change the config. Right, so now it's corrected for our workstations. Sorry, there we go, right? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to copy and paste that because it's quicker than me typing those commands again. Now we'll get VLAN 30 up. Sorry for that delay, but it's a good opportunity to see when something's missed how easy it is to fix it and generate the code that you actually do need. Wait for him to come up, then we'll see him in Ospf. In the meantime, though, let's ping some loopbacks from loopbacks. Right, so there's pinging router 1, and there's pinging router 2. Now we have VLAN 30 up, so let's go take a peek from like router 2's perspective. What's he got? There we've got the 2 loopbacks that it learned. And we've got, from Ospf, we've learned 10.02 and 10.03 from the workstations. So at this point we can be pretty positive that everything's okay. You can see here in the server, I've already got a static IP of 10.02.11. Let's ping one of those. The loopback of router 1 comes up nice and easy. Let's go ahead and get workstation 2, one of the workstations up. Remember, he's DHCP. So there's our offer, our request, and our acknowledgement. So he should be off and running. First of all, let's just make sure you can get to the server VLAN 2.10 and 2.11. And finally, let's just have him ping one of the loopbacks to show that the routing's working. Router 2. And router 1. So there you have it. We've got a good Ospf working config, configured 3 devices inside of 10 minutes. So as always, appreciate you watching. Thanks for your support. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you.